The Young and the Restless Spoilers The Unraveling of Truth, a twist in Nate's legacy. In the bustling, ever-evolving drama of Genoa City, nothing remains constant for long. The revelation that Amy is the biological mother of Nate sent shockwaves throughout the community and among loyal viewers. Rumors spread like wildfire, fueling heated debates and reviving long-dormant secrets that had once threatened to tear apart the lives of many beloved characters. At the heart of this renewed turmoil stands Elena, a woman whose cunning and unpredictable nature has always ensured that chaos lurks around every corner of her life. For years, Elena had meticulously orchestrated events to disrupt Nate's life, driven by a complicated mixture of rivalry, unresolved feelings, and an insatiable desire to remain relevant in a world where loyalty was as fleeting as the wind. Despite their tumultuous past, a past that once saw Nate and Elena on the brink of marriage, the tides of love had long since receded, leaving only bitter memories and broken promises in their wake. Nate, once deeply entwined with Elena, now finds himself caught in the crossfire of deception and the hunt for truth. The revelation of Amy's paternity came as an unexpected blow to the delicate balance that Nate had tried so desperately to maintain. Just as the world was coming to terms with the new reality, Elena, ever the provocateur, hatched a scheme to upend everything once again. Determined to shock the community and add another layer to her intricate web of lies, she orchestrated a daring move, swapping the entire set of DNA results. In one swift, calculated stroke, Elena aimed to blur the lines of truth, leaving everyone, especially Nate, wondering who the real mother was. Nate, known for his unwavering determination and relentless pursuit of the truth, is not one to be easily swayed by such manipulations. Every twist and turn in his quest for identity has hardened his resolve. With every setback, his determination has only grown stronger. He refuses to accept a half-truth, and the recent events have only fueled his desire to uncover the complete story behind his lineage. The stakes are high, and Nate is prepared to go to any lengths necessary to piece together the fragmented remnants of his past. Amidst the swirling rumors and calculated chaos, another pivotal figure emerges from the shadows, Olivia Barber Hastings. Long believed to be Nate's biological mother, Olivia's absence from Genoa City had been a source of quiet speculation among those who still followed the intricacies of the family's legacy. Now, with her departure to a distant land to pursue new opportunities, the narrative of Nate's origin story has become all the more convoluted. Yet, as fate would have it, the possibility of her return looms large, a return that could finally set the record straight on Nate's true heritage. As whispers of Olivia's impending return grow louder, many in Genoa City find themselves questioning whether the enigmatic figure will indeed come back to face Amy. The potential confrontation between the two women is laden with dramatic irony. Olivia, long the silent guardian of Nate's origins, may soon stand before her estranged son, ready to reveal the entire truth about his biological parents. Such a revelation would not only unmask the hidden layers of Nate's past but also reshape his understanding of loyalty, betrayal, and love. In the midst of all this, Nate's own journey takes on an almost mythic quality. Driven by a need to know, he embarks on a relentless pursuit of clarity, one that leads him down dark alleys of deception and into the heart of family secrets. With every DNA test, every whispered conversation in shadowed corridors, and every tearful confession, he inches closer to the truth that has eluded him for so long. His quest is not merely about settling old scores or confronting his past. It is about reclaiming his identity in a world that has been manipulated by the whims of those who refuse to let go of their power. Elena, ever the master manipulator, watches this unfolding drama with a sly smile. Her plan to swap the DNA results was a masterstroke of chaos, a final, desperate attempt to ensure that Nate's life remains a battleground of conflicting loyalties and hidden agendas. For Elena, the thrill of disruption is a drug, one that has defined her existence for as long as anyone can remember. Yet, even as she revels in the shock and confusion she has sown, there is an undeniable undercurrent of respect for Nate's unyielding resolve. In many ways, their intertwined fates have transformed from a simple tale of lost love into an epic struggle for truth and redemption. The impending return of Olivia Barber Hastings promises to be the catalyst that will finally tip the scales. Her arrival is expected to be nothing short of dramatic, a moment where the facade of lies will be stripped away to reveal a raw, unfiltered truth. Olivia, with her own battles fought in silence, may hold the key to reconciling the fractured history of Nate's life. As she steps back into the fray, the spotlight will undoubtedly shine on the dark corners of Genoa City, forcing long-buried secrets into the harsh light of day. In the weeks leading up to this pivotal confrontation, the community finds itself holding its breath, waiting for the truth to emerge. Every conversation, every clandestine meeting, and every look exchanged in the corridors of power is laden with anticipation. Nate, for his part, remains resolute. His determination to confront the past and embrace the truth is as unyielding as ever. The battle lines have been drawn, and the stage is set for a showdown that promises to redefine the very fabric of his existence. For fans of the series, this is more than just another twist in the narrative. It is a profound exploration of the complexities of identity, love, and the enduring human spirit. As Elena's machinations continue to weave a tapestry of intrigue and deception, and as Nate inches closer to uncovering the full extent of his family's secrets, one thing remains clear: in Genoa City, nothing is ever truly as it seems. With each revelation, the boundaries between friend and foe blur, leaving everyone to wonder if the truth might be even more elusive than they ever imagined. In this ongoing saga of love, betrayal, and redemption, the characters are not just players on a stage, they are embodiments of the human condition, struggling to find meaning in a world where the only certainty is uncertainty. And as the dust begins to settle, one can only hope that, in the end, the truth will set them all free. The journey is far from over, and the road ahead is paved with questions waiting to be answered. Nate's search for the truth is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a spirit that, no matter how many times it is broken, always finds a way to rise again. In conclusion, the intricate dance of deception, the clashing wills of powerful women, and the relentless pursuit of truth have all converged into a narrative that is as compelling as it is heart-wrenching. Nate's journey, marked by heartbreak and betrayal, now stands on the precipice of a revelation that could alter the course of his destiny forever. And as fans around the world watch with bated breath, one thing is certain: the true legacy of Genoa City will be written not in the secrets of the past, but in the courage to confront them and the strength to embrace a future defined by honesty and redemption. This narrative not only captures the shocking twists and turns of the plot but also delves into the emotional and psychological depths of its characters, ensuring that the story remains as engaging and dynamic as the world of Genoa City itself. Unraveling the threads of deception. A Genoa City chronicle. Genoa City had witnessed its fair share of shocking reveals and earth-shattering confessions, but the latest development concerning Nate's parentage was something no one saw coming, least of all Amy herself. Once an unassuming figure on the fringes of society events, Amy now found herself thrust into the spotlight, wrestling with the possibility that she was, in fact, Nate's biological mother. Though the DNA results seemed to suggest an undeniable link, Amy could not shake the lingering doubt that told her there was far more to the story. Across the city, whispers intensified: what if the labs were tampered with? Who stood to gain from fueling such a scandal? In the thick of this mystery loomed two cunning figures, Hold'em and Audra. From the outside, they appeared to be mere acquaintances who occasionally crossed paths in the same social circles. Privately, however, they formed a clandestine alliance driven by a mutual ambition, removing anyone who stood in their way. Rumors circulated that these two were the hidden hand behind several abrupt shakeups, from questionable corporate takeovers to scandalous personal revelations. Now, their target seemed to be the circle around Nate, and the first casualty they aimed for was Damien. Damien, an enigmatic presence with ties to both Amy and Nate, had frequently found himself at the center of swirling controversies. Some said he was a business rival to Hold'em, while others believed his tension with Audra stretched back to an ill-fated affair. Whatever the reasons, one thing was clear: if Damien truly had no deeper connection to Amy, and if he was proven not to be her son, then he might depart Genoa City altogether. After all, once his link to the unfolding drama was severed, he would have no stake in the battle. At least, that was what Hold'em and Audra hoped for. fewer rivals meant fewer obstacles in their relentless quest for influence. Yet in a place like Genoa City, rarely did people vanish without leaving a trail of secrets behind. The more Damien hovered on the edge of this parental scandal, the more suspicious others grew of the motives of those urging him to leave. Could it be that the push to prove, or disprove, his biological ties to Amy was part of a grander strategy to eliminate him from the competitive arenas where his power was growing? The logic of this ploy was clear. If Damien were unrelated to Amy, he would have no moral or emotional reason to remain in Genoa City, and Hold'em and Audra could celebrate one fewer rival in their midst. Amid the escalating speculations, Nate found himself torn between disbelief and a fiery determination to uncover the truth. All his life, he had understood his lineage through the lens of Olivia Barber Hastings, the woman who had raised him, cared for him, and, until recently, was believed to be his biological mother. But with Olivia's move abroad, an unexpected career opportunity in a hospital across the globe, Nate had been left in a precarious state of confusion and vulnerability. The DNA test results naming Amy as his mother came at him like a locomotive. He'd never harbored the faintest idea that his upbringing was anything but straightforward. However, as rumors began to swirl that certain results might have been tampered with, he could not help but think of who stood to gain from manipulating such documents. Nate was nobody's fool. He had encountered his fair share of deception in life and resolved, no matter the cost, to get to the bottom of this labyrinth of lies. Amy, for her part, wrestled with an inner turmoil that grew with each passing day. She tried to piece together fragments of her past, old relationships, fleeting romances, and the general timeline of her life around the time Nate would have been born. Nothing pointed definitively to her being his mother. Yet the test results placed her squarely in the center of an intense battle over Nate's identity. If there was any truth in these papers, she yearned to embrace the reality of having a son as accomplished and respected as Nate. On the other hand, if it was all one colossal hoax, she needed to expose it before it tore apart everything she had worked to build. Adding to the mayhem, Hold'em and Audra fueled the rumor mill whenever they could. They dropped cryptic hints and used their influence to sway public perception, sowing paranoia among individuals who might have shed light on the real story. Half-truths and innuendo flitted through the corridors of power, raising the tension to a fever pitch. The two conspirators knew that the more disoriented everyone became, the harder it would be for the true facts to surface. And in confusion lay their advantage. Across town, others were drawn into the vortex. Some, like old friends of Olivia, questioned whether Olivia had hidden certain parts of Nate's early years to protect him, or perhaps to shield a hidden secret that might destroy her reputation. Others were simply curious bystanders, lured by the irresistible drama. In living rooms and cafes, the conversation always circled back to the same question: how could Amy, the unobtrusive woman with few known ties to Nate, be his mother when all had believed Olivia to hold that place in his life? Elena, whose involvement in prior DNA switch-ups had already sent shockwaves through the community, remained conspicuously silent. Many wondered if she, too, might be manipulating the current set of DNA results. Though she was once close to Nate, so close that they nearly married, her lingering resentment seemed to have no bounds. Since the dissolution of their bond, Elena had often lingered around controversies connected to Nate, as if unable to resist the pull of meddling in his affairs. In hushed conversations, locals speculated that Elena might be working alongside Hold'em and Audra or, at the very least, playing her own game to keep Nate ensnared in personal strife. In the midst of this swirling chaos, one name echoed louder with each passing hour: Olivia Barber Hastings. Long absent from Genoa City, her presence was felt like a phantom. She was the only individual who might hold unassailable evidence about Nate's true parentage. Every thread of rumor inevitably led back to her, and even those who thought they knew the entire story found themselves second-guessing. If Olivia could be coaxed into returning, perhaps clarity could finally prevail. She alone possessed the intimate knowledge of Nate's origins, knowledge that might validate or refute the DNA results that now cast Amy as the mother. And so it happened that talk of Olivia's return became a phenomenon all its own. At first, it was just a murmur. A friend of a friend claimed to have overheard Olivia on a phone call, speaking cryptically about looming family matters. Then came a sudden flurry of curious sightings. A nurse in a local hospital swore she'd glimpsed Olivia in the corridor, though official records placed her on the other side of the world. While no solid proof emerged, the flicker of possibility ignited new hope in Nate, Amy, and anyone else tied to this grand puzzle. Nate tried to reach out to Olivia directly. A handful of his calls failed to connect. When, at last, he managed to leave a message, his voice trembled with raw emotion. He implored her to come back, not just for his sake, but for the sake of the entire community. If these DNA tests were bogus, if Hold'em and Audra were pulling unseen strings, or if some other sinister force was at play, Olivia's testimony might be the only way to blow the conspiracy wide open. Days stretched into a week, and the tension grew. Amy oscillated between resignation and cautious optimism. Part of her was desperate to find evidence that would either confirm her maternal link to Nate or conclusively disprove it. The not-knowing gnawed at her day and night. She, too, sought out lines of contact to Olivia, though few of her acquaintances had any leads to offer. Meanwhile, Damien stood at a crossroads, far more vulnerable than he would ever publicly admit. If the claim that he was merely using Amy was true, and if he really had no substantial reason to remain in Genoa City, he could slip away without further ado. And yet something about the entire scenario felt personal. Why was Hold'em so eager to see him gone? Why did Audra insert herself into small details of the drama, offering unsolicited opinions, emphasizing certain angles of the DNA controversy? Damien began to suspect that the real motive behind the fiasco might have nothing to do with him being Amy's child, or not, and everything to do with a larger power play he had only glimpsed from the outside. The undercurrent of corporate intrigue pulsed beneath the surface. Could it be that Hold'em and Audra, working in tandem, planned to stage a hostile takeover of some business venture connected to Nate, Amy, or even Olivia? Uncovering the family drama and manipulating it for their advantage could weaken emotional bonds, rendering those involved vulnerable to financial maneuvers. Speculation ran rampant, but no definitive proof emerged. And so the wait continued. The DNA test results, the very documents that had sparked such an inferno, remained locked away in a safe inside the local hospital. They were official, yet overshadowed by rumors of tampering and sabotage. Nate had tried, in vain, to initiate a second round of tests at an independent clinic. But lo and behold, before the samples could be processed, they disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Every new attempt to clarify the situation was systematically thwarted, suggesting someone was diligently working behind the scenes to keep the truth hidden. In living rooms across Genoa City, the drama played out like a slow-burning thriller. Families gathered around their televisions or met at cafes to trade the latest gossip. No one had a full picture, but everyone had a theory. Some believed wholeheartedly that Amy was indeed Nate's mother, and that Olivia might have known the truth all along, keeping it secret for fear of scandal. Others thought Amy was a mere pawn in a larger scheme orchestrated by Elena or others with a personal vendetta against Nate. Then there were those who believed the real culprit was outside the immediate circle, someone with a stake in the corporate or social power structures that governed Genoa City's elite. But one fact remained indisputable: the final answers could only come from Olivia Barber Hastings. Until she set foot in Genoa City again, or revealed her knowledge in a more verifiable way, everything remained conjecture. Every plausible lead raised new questions, and each attempt at resolution only fanned the flames. For Nate, the stakes were deeply personal. His entire sense of identity, which had already been tested by heartbreak and professional dilemmas, now faced its greatest challenge yet. He found himself vacillating between anger at those who could be deceiving him and the urge to protect Amy, who seemed equally lost in this maelstrom. The love and respect he bore Olivia clashed with a growing frustration at her prolonged absence. How could she leave him in the dark at a time like this? Behind the scenes, Hold'em and Audra watched, strategic and detached. Whether or not they had a direct hand in the DNA tampering, it was clear they viewed the unfolding discord as a prime opportunity to pick off rivals. If they succeeded in driving Damien out, it could be just the first domino in a chain reaction that would favor their grand ambitions. They revealed nothing of their endgame, but many suspected that power, be it financial or social, was their ultimate goal. Each passing day brought them closer to a vantage point from which they could rewrite the power structures that defined Genoa City. Amid the frenzy, the one thing the entire city seemed to agree upon was the urgent need for clarity. If Olivia returned, her words alone could tip the scales. Had she painstakingly hidden the truth about Amy and Nate for decades? Was she a victim of misinformation herself?